I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Welcome to LCJ Live Prime Time. It's Sunday, March 3rd, 2019. Coming up, take a look at the box office. We'll talk about the new season of American Idol, my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, and my take on some of this weekend's movies that opened up, including a Madea family funeral and Greta. All that, plus how will Captain Marvel do this weekend at the box office coming up? We'll talk about all that. As always, send in your questions, your comments on this special primetime, nighttime edition of LCJ Live. I got my man Charlie Brown here for tonight. So, your number one movie in America for the second week in a row is How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, with another $30 million. It's closing in on $100 million after just 10 days. Big for DreamWorks and Universal. Congrats to them on a second week in a row of one of the year's best movies. In second is A Madea Family Funeral. This is the 9th film starring Madea. Tyler Perry has said this is the last one he's doing, and I hope he's right, because this is unfortunately a sour way to go out for this Madea saga. I've seen several of the last movies. Medea's Witness Protection, A Madea Christmas with Larry the Cable Guy, that was pretty good, and the Halloween movies. Halloween movies weren't great, but they at least had a little movement to them. This film does not. It is stagnant. It is a bunch of people having conversations with each other, yelling at each other. That is A Madea Family Funeral. It's almost as if Perry put no effort into this movie at all. I did hear him say recently that he released Boo Madea Halloween, then he was going to release this, but Lionsgate said, man, Boo was so successful, we want you to do Boo 2. So he had to release Boo 2 first, and then this movie, which he had in the can for almost 2 years, obviously after Acrimony and Nobody's Fool as well. So Tyler Perry had to hold on to A Madea Family Funeral. He wanted it to be the last one, but unfortunately not a strong way to go out. Bob Hall's asking me which one is my favorite out of the Madea movies. I like A Madea Christmas. I watched part of it on TV. I think it was on recently over Christmas time. It's Madea and Larry the Cable Guy. It's a combination that works. There's some great humor, and the story is there as well. But Madea does have some funny moments in Witness Protection as Madea is going through airport security. That's some pretty fun stuff there as well. $27 million for A Madea Family Funeral is a big number, though. It's bigger than Boo 2 did, close to what the first Boo did. Does that number indicate maybe Tyler Perry goes on with the franchise? I still think no. He's going to turn 50 in September, role in Vice, role in Gone Girl, directing other kinds of movies. He wants to move on, and I'm right there along with him. Alita Battle Angel in third, Lego Movie 2 in fourth. Green Book jumped up from 11th to 5th place with another $4.7 million this weekend. Green Book is up to $76 million because it won Best Picture at the Academy Awards. That's right. Is this the first LCJ Live since the Oscars? I guess it is. Wow. Yeah, so much has happened in the past week, and so much has happened with the Academy Awards. Green Book won Best Picture, and because of that, it has had a huge box office increase already. It is on DVD on the 12th, and it's been on digital for a little bit as well, but people still want to go see it in the theaters. People this weekend also wanted to go see re-releases, re-expansions of A Star is Born with the encore version. That pulled in $1.9 million. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse pulled in another $2.1 million. And even Bohemian Rhapsody brought in nearly $1 million more because of Oscar boost expansions. Fighting with My Family, also one of the year's best movies, in 6th. Isn't It Romantic in 7th. And Greta is in 8th. Greta is the new suspense thriller stalking movie with Chloe Grace Moretz and Isabelle Huppert. I think this Isabelle Huppert gives a better performance in this than she did in Elle. She was pretty good in Elle, but I think she's great in this. It's a film that plays with your emotions a little bit too much, but it is sophisticated and largely effective. Give it a shot. Go see Greta. All right, in 9th this weekend, What Men Want and Happy Death Day to You rounds out your top 10. I put out a tweet saying Edge of Tomorrow 2, Warner Brothers wants to do that. It's a big risk they're taking with that story. Bringing back Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. The first movie was so good. What are they going to do with that repetition storyline? It didn't work for Happy Death Day to You as far as the box office is concerned. It's only made $25 million. Yes, on a $9 million budget, but the first Happy Death Day made so much more. What is Edge of Tomorrow going to do with that repetitive over and over again cycle? Make it feel fresh and original a second time around? That's a big risk that Warner Brothers is taking. If you're just joining us here on this special primetime, nighttime edition of LCJ Live, I'm here. We're talking about all the big movies, the big shows, including American Idol. It returns tonight on ABC with Ryan Seacrest back, Lionel Richie, Luke Bryan, and Katy Perry. I liked last season of Idol. I watched it mainly out of curiosity to see how it would go. It was a more upbeat season of Idol. Not a whole lot of negativity, only in little places, but I thought the judges, in particular Lionel Richie, were very good. I think Lionel Richie is the best Idol judge outside of the original three, Randy Jackson, Paul Abdul, Simon Cowell. Will you be watching this new season of American Idol? By the way, this is crazy. ABC's doing this week. They've got Idol Sunday, Bachelor Monday and Tuesday, and then another new episode of American Idol on Wednesday. We'll see how the ratings go. When Idol premiered last year for its triumphant return, it got around 10 million people. Then it dropped to about 8 the second night. We'll see how this starts off for ABC. They decided not to do a spring season of Dancing with the Stars to accommodate more with American Idol. We'll see if that pays off as well. Do you want no host again for next year at the Oscars? Says Bob Hall. I didn't really love the fact that there was no host. I'm in the minority. Big surprise that I'm in the minority when it comes to something. I didn't really like the fact that there was no host. I thought the show needed somebody to go back to calm everybody down. Everyone could breathe and relax, and a little self-deprecating humor. That's what I thought the Oscars needed. Everybody was very on edge last Sunday night. I felt it needed that. Now, yes, the show was 32 minutes shorter than last year. That's understandable. But there were moments here and there, the Lady Gaga-Bradley Cooper duet being the main one, moments here and there that worked, but overall I thought the show lacked a little substance, a theme. So I would like to see a host next year. Who could it be? It's way too early to discuss all of that, just like it's way too early to dissect which movies are going to be nominated next year. I know people are already writing articles, and the Oscars is 2 weeks earlier than it was this year, so it's really only 49 weeks away now. It's Feb 9, 2020, if I have that correct. But we still got a long, long way to go. We're only a sixth of the way through 2019. So many more movies on the way, including Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel opens up this Thursday at 7 p.m. Some people are predicting 160 million. I'm going slightly lower. I think the fact that it's coming out so close to Avengers Endgame is going to hurt it, at least out of the gate. I'm thinking about 130, maybe. If it does under 100, they will be sorely disappointed, the folks at Disney and Marvel. Black Panther obviously did 200 million when it opened up little about this time last year, about a year ago. If I had to pick some of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, I would say that Nick Fury is up there. Sam Jackson is great in that role. Of course, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., he embodies that character so much. But I'm going to throw in Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk as well. Mark Ruffalo has been asked about why is there no solo Hulk movie, and he basically said because Universal has the rights to the solo Hulk movie, even though Marvel Studios and Disney are together now and all this, and Universal doesn't know what to do with the character properly. So that's a lot of the reason why you saw a lot of Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, is because you're trying to get the most out of him as much as possible without having to call your movie a Hulk film. I like Mark Ruffalo in this role. I think Mark Ruffalo is a great actor. He's been in some very good movies. Foxcatcher, Oscar nominated for that. Spotlight, he's even better in that. Oscar nominated for that film as well. The Kids Are All Right from 2010. I like Mark Ruffalo in a lot of movies, and in this role he brings some humanity, some of that self-deprecating humor the Oscars needed to that role of the Hulk. So I generally enjoy seeing him on screen. What else we got? If I'm thinking favorite, I mean, I like Captain America because Captain America, Chris Evans, those are some of my favorite of the movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, there's some other decent ones as well. Peggy Carter's all right. I'm just going through a list. What's your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe character? If you had to pick one out of all of them in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which one would it be? Thor I didn't like until this last Avengers movie, Infinity War. I actually felt the Thor character in that franchise, not my favorite, didn't go in directions that I really cared for, but then his relationship with Rocket Raccoon in Avengers Infinity War actually changed my perception on the Thor character and Chris Hemsworth. So yeah, if you're just joining us here on LCJ Live, if you've got a favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe character, what is it? I'd like to know. Everybody here would like to know right here on the show. How much money do you think Captain Marvel's going to make? Again, I'm thinking right around $130. Agent Coulson's cool too, but he's been in a lot of movies. What'll be curious about Captain Marvel is how they're going to de-age Sam Jackson. That's what a lot of people are looking forward to. He's going to be, I think, 25 years younger than he is, because this is set in the 90s, than he is in some of the other movies. So how are they going to de-age Sam Jackson? That'll be a very big curiosity factor when it comes to Captain Marvel. And look, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios right now, they're coming off of 3 Oscar wins for Black Panther. This franchise had 0 leading up to this. 3 Oscar wins for Black Panther. I was thinking it was only going to get 1, and in a category that it didn't even end up winning. But congrats to Marvel. You got 3 wins at the Oscars and a Best Picture nomination for Black Panther. All right. So once again, Dragon 3 is your #1 movie. Madea is #2 with $27 million, and I think it'll fall to about $10 million next weekend. If you look up the box office for all Tyler Perry movies, you will find that it opens somewhere in the 20s usually, and every single second weekend it goes down to 10. So if this Madea Family Funeral does anything more than 10, it'll be a big surprise. If it does less than 10, not as big of a surprise, but it's got to be right around there next weekend. I'd put money on that. If somehow you could bet on that in Vegas and say that the Madea movie would go down to exactly $10 million second weekend, put some money on that. While the show was going on, did you think Bohemian Rhapsody would win Best Picture? Yes! An hour into the Oscars, I honestly thought Bohemian Rhapsody was going to win Best Picture. Not Roma, not Green Book, not anything else. Because the way the show was going, it felt like a show about Queen. A show completely honoring Freddie Mercury and Queen. When you think about it, except for Best Picture at the end, it all makes sense. They started out the show with Queen and Adam Lambert. It won 3 technical awards. Excuse me, Mike Myers and Dana Carvey came out and did their little segment honoring Bohemian Rhapsody. Rami Malek won Best Actor. Olivia Colman won for Best Actress for The Favorite for playing a queen. And then we were going to get to the final category, Best Picture. The last category, Bohemian Rhapsody was nominated in. The only other one it was nominated in besides the 4 it had already won. And I genuinely thought this whole show is going to come full circle and they're going to honor Bohemian Rhapsody. Plus the American Idol ad that did a Queen song as well during the show. But it went to Green Book. And you know what? I'm okay with it going to Green Book. Green Book was my second favorite out of the 8 Best Picture nominees. My first being A Star is Born, but A Star is Born had no chance of winning Best Picture. Green Book had the second best chance behind Roma, and it won. I'm happy. Green Book is not the best movie ever made, but it is a satisfying film with an incredible Mahershala Ali, a very good Viggo Mortensen, and a decent script. And it's a very conventional film, but a satisfying film, and a simple film with decent messages. That's why it won Best Picture of the Year. It's the most positive movie out of those 8. When you walked out of the theater, Green Book gave you the most positivity. Your Olivia Colman Dark Horse pick came through. Congrats. I predicted Glenn Close would win here at the Oscars, with Olivia Colman being the upset. I did predict Olivia Colman would win at the BAFTAs over Glenn Close, and I was correct in saying that, but I truly thought that the Academy would finally give it to Glenn Close. She wore a gold 40-pound dress, for God's sake. But she will come back in 2 years for Sunset Boulevard and may get that first win out of 8 nominations, finally, for that performance. Probably should have been for The Wife, but she'll come back in 2 years. I know she will. All right. Captain Marvel, it opens up Thursday night at 7. I will have my review of that on the website and on YouTube. If you want to check out my reviews of Greta and A Madea Family Funeral, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. My rapid review of A Madea Family Funeral is on YouTube, youtube.com/lightscamerajackson. Thank you so much for watching this primetime, nighttime edition of LCJ Live. I'll see you back here next Sunday at the regular time, 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about Captain Marvel at the box office. How did it do? Also preview the new releases of the week, which are 5 Feet Apart, Captive State, and Wonder Park, a new animated film from Paramount and Nickelodeon. All right, I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Thanks so much for watching LCJ Live. If you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe here and watch the latest video. I'll see you next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everybody.